I'm Adam Anshel for Pro Football Weekly as we continue our series looking at the best and worst draft picks at each spot over the last 11 years. I'm joined by senior editor Eric Edholm, who's taken a look at all of these drafts. And Eric, the last 3 years we've seen some interesting names here. Gerard Mayo and Tyson Alualu, who many thought were probably taken too high, but both played well early in their careers. Even Michael Crabtree, whom many thought would go top 5, yet the jury is still somewhat out on him. What did you find as the best pick during this time?
Yeah, certainly any of those three guys at some point could be recognized as one of the best at their positions. We ended up going with Terrell Suggs. And, you know, Suggs had a little bit of an up and down career, but he still has that pass rush ability that you're seeking. You know, he was another guy that probably fell a little bit, ran the incredibly slow 40 time at Arizona State. People said that, you know, he might have been a top 3 selection at one point. The Ravens saw the talent. They picked him at 10, ended up getting a great player. It looked pretty good in retrospect.
And he certainly fits so well into that system. Yeah. Already a great established defense, and he just slid right in and performed well. On the flip side, the worst, a lot of choices here too. Who did you go with?
Intriguing that it's another pass rusher. Early in the decade, you know, Jamal Reynolds came out of Florida State, hyped as one of the best electric pass rushers. Kind of a slimmer version of what Dwight Freeney is now today. I have a great story about him. I talked to a coach who was on that team. Hadn't seen him before he showed up at the first OTA. Reynolds got off the bus. He said, "I didn't know we drafted a safety." He was so lean and so thin, he just couldn't survive in the trenches in the NFL. Ended up being a bust. Never really became that pass rusher that almost everybody thought he would be.
I think maybe a guy at this spot that could have been the biggest bust here, it looked like a couple of years ago, was Mike Williams, a wide receiver out of USC. Flamed out with the Lions, but now Pete Carroll back in the league, brings Mike Williams back, has a pretty good year, could be moving up on this list.
You know, Williams might not be the only guy who turns his career around. We can't give up yet on Matt Leinart. I know he spent last year in Houston, probably doesn't have a future there. Potential free agent, though, this offseason, depending on the CBA. Who knows? This guy has some talent, was a winner in college. You might end up seeing him rebuild his career in another NFL city.
Maybe Pete Carroll, their coach that did it with Mike Williams, does it again with Leinart. For all the best draft information, be sure to follow us on Twitter or go to ProFootballWeekly.com.